Hey, we're the Four Frontiers. My name's Finn.
Hey, I'm Byron.
So we met back at when we were like around 10 years old at this homeschool group. There's this worship leader there, and he wanted to put a band together for us and stuff. He thought it'd be such a cool idea for us kids to do. And so that's pretty much how we got started with music.
And after playing that gig, that was like a really electric feeling. It was really, really fun. And then afterwards we said, hey, let's create our own band, like our own cover band. And we got together with some of our friends and we joined this band called The Hot List. And we just covered classic punk songs and things like that.
So then after a while, it got pretty serious and we started writing our own music and playing more often. And at that point, we realized we really needed a product for us to progress as a band.
Then we recorded multiple times. We failed multiple times, recorded at our friend's uncle's house. That failed, and then we played at our ex-bassist brother's house, and that failed, and that cost a lot of money that time. We spent about maybe $600, $650 or something like that, and we never kept any of it, so that was just money that was just down the drain, and we just...
But you learn from that, you know?
Absolutely.
And I feel like without going through that process, we probably wouldn't have discovered how we really wanted to be with our sound in particular.
Then we met Richard, who was our mentor guy, Richard Segovia.
Oh, yeah.
And we played at the Solano County Fair in Vallejo, and we played the show. It was the worst slot, the earliest. It was 10 a.m.
Yeah, 11 o'clock, yeah.
Yeah, 11 o'clock.
The fair just opened up, so no one's there.
Nobody. It's hardly even our friends were there. Even
I think we seriously played to 6 people.
And I see the Foreign Frontier kids there. So I figured I'll go over there and walk over and talk to them. And so I go over and I say, hey, I'm Richard, man. Listen, man, I have a studio at home. Practice. I'd like to have you guys come over sometime and practice at my house. And see maybe, come on over and see what we can do. I got a recording studio.
And even the coming in, because he knew that it was a sketchy thing to no one really asked you to do that. So he walked us through the process of writing a contract first, and had us write it out and be yo, these songs belong to you. I'm helping you out. Yeah. This is my signature here, just to make sure. And we weren't really thinking about the contract aspect of it, but he was all right, this is what you need to do, because you're gonna run across a lot of this later on. And we definitely have a lot more in this past year for sure.
Throughout, as we progressed, people kind of trickled out of the band naturally. Some members couldn't stay for various reasons, and that's just kind of how things fall out as a band.
The last member that left, that whole situation was a little bit messier, so we decided just from then on just to keep it as a duo and just kind of focus in and reshift our image a little bit while we have time to recover.
So now that we had this EP, Richard wanted to get a good show for us and get a good venue to really showcase what we've worked hard for. So the original plan was to do the Great American Music Hall. I'm all right, let's do it. That would be great.
Because we've seen quite a few of our favorite bands there, and it was just something that was just kind of crazy. Yeah. We're oh, that'd be really cool, but I don't know how we do it.
And we were pretty naive at the time too. So yeah, Great American Music Hall, it's gonna be great. We're gonna make all this money, do all this stuff.
There'll be hundreds of people there. They'll just appear out of thin air,
because of the venue itself. But it was kind of in limbo. We didn't really know if we're gonna have the venue. We didn't know if we're gonna be at a different place. So, we were kind of taking our time, and then I get a call from Richard. He's hey, I got the gig, October 23rd, let's do it. And I kind of freaked out because the EP wasn't fully finished. And
then our bass player quit, probably maybe it was a few days before we got that call. And
or after, I can't remember.
It was something like that. Yeah. And we were so, everything was all mixed up at that time we got that call. We're oh my gosh, we need to focus up. We need to somehow do this. And we didn't have a drummer at the time either.
So we're no rhythm section. We had to sell all these tickets and finish up an EP within a month, or no, 2 months. It was 2 months. Yeah. And we felt totally way in over our heads, crazy. But we pushed through it, and it actually worked out.
Yeah.
We found a bassist and drummer through Richard. Yeah. Again, thank you. And those guys did a really good job. They really pulled through for us.
Put your hands together for Foreign Frontier. Put your hands up.
All you do is push me away with your insecurities. I gotta get me away from this misery. In your hand you hold a key. This a man has has got to breathe.
When you get on that stage, there's not much else you can do, so just play with your heart and not your mind.
Oh, totally.
You know, and you just kind of just let go and just do it, you know? And there's like this, you can surprise yourself on what you can do and just like
Totally.
look back and be like, you know, that was it. That was organic. That was real. If there's like a few like jumps and skips here, like a few screw ups, it doesn't matter. Like as long as it has that heart in there, people will see that and people will respond to it. And a majority of the people there didn't even hear the original songs already.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, hey, it sounds good to me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it all worked out.
They went from finishing their CD and being on top of the world to all the way to the bottom of the ground. Bad. And I was explaining, this is how music is. Sometimes, you know, you got to pick yourself up. So they had a couple of rehearsals. They went and played. They made some money. They sounded great. They also sold some CDs, and everything worked out really good. And I'm proud of these kids from really, you know, when your back's up against the wall, what do? You don't throw in the towel. You make it happen. And to me, that was the best thing that ever happened to that band. Something that bad turned around and was so good to see these kids excel and be able to put it together. Now they got a great drummer downstairs. They got a good bass. But once they get tight again, we're going to be doing more shows. And I'm very proud of them. And I'm going to give them more help because that's what they need, help. So everybody out there, do me a big favor. When you see these guys, buy their CD. Okay? Here it is.